Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is utilizing his quiet cash trial to crush his faithful armed force of little givers and by campaign major supporters as he scrambles to diminish a major raising money impediment with law-based President Joe Biden. His campaign has been terminating off day by day drastically worded gathering pledges offers to little givers, who energized to bolster him when he was to begin with charge within the case's final year, since the trial in modern York started with jury determination on Monday. "I might be bolted up for life," one male perused this week. "I ought to be campaigning over America and battling for our nation, but instead, I'm stuck in Biden's degenerate court once more," studied another, in spite of the fact that Trump is being attempted in modern York State Court by the Manhattan locale lawyer and not by the Biden organization. He faces up to a long time in jail in the event that convicted, although numerous of those who have been indicted of that wrongdoing within the past have confronted disciplines like probation and fines. There are early caution signs that Trump's small donor base may be hailing, recommending Trump may ought to depend more intensely on major givers ahead of the November 5 rematch against Biden. The greatest raising money gather collecting cash for his campaign, known as the Trump Spare America Joint Raising Money Committee, detailed on Monday that it raised $33.6 million within the to begin with quarter from givers who gave $200 or less. That was almost $17 million less than the sum raised from small givers at the same point within the 2020 decision cycle by Trump's primary raising money group at the time, the Trump Make America Awesome Once More Committee, agreeing to a Reuters audit of revelations recorded to the Government Decision Commission. Little givers have truly been significant funders of Trump's presidential campaigns, and final year they helped Trump raise $13 million in donations within the week after his arraignment within the unused York case. But after starting raising money, spikes off the back of early court appearances final year, gifts have moderated as charges collected in more cases. A degree of Trump weakness shows up to have set in after a long time of the previous genuine domain big shot impacting out near-daily suggestions for cash, said Zachary Albert, a legislative issues teacher at Brandeis College who has examined little benefactors. "He's been decently deceitful in his requests," said Albert. "The standard is to treat these little givers as cash dairy animals, simply squeeze as much as regularly as you'll be able." Still, Albert expects an uptick in gifts amid the trial as the campaign looks to capitalize on supporters' assumption that Trump is being unjustifiably attempted. The Trump campaign did not react to an ask for points of interest on its gathering pledges procedure. It is due on Saturday to report on its funds through WALK. Trump's campaign detailed raising $10.9 million February, well underneath the $21.3 million that Biden's detailed raising. Benefactor tales, enormous pledge drives. Given Biden's monetary advantage and Trump's spiraling lawful costs, Trump is progressively centered on landing enormous checks. The Republican candidate is ratcheting up giver occasions, putting calls to advocates on the fence, and tapping a money-raising operation that has blended with the Republican National Committee, according to 3 individuals briefed on the movement. "The givers I've required him to conversation to, he's been exceedingly viable in terms of getting expansive checks and bolster from them," said one Trump pledge drive, who inquired to stay mysterious to share private discussions. Within the last 2 weeks, Trump has held fundraisers in Georgia and Florida. The campaign points to raise at slightest $5 million from each occasion, in spite of the fact that it has settled for less, one of the sources said. An April 6 fundraiser at Support Supervisor John Paulson's Palm Shoreline Domestic, which Trump's campaign said raised more than $50 million, pulled in heavy-hitter co-hosts counting hedge fund speculator Robert Mercer and his girl and traditionalist dissident Rebecca, speculator Scott Bessent, and casino magnate Phil Ruffin. A few longtime Republican givers stay hesitant to back Trump, In any case, frequently citing what they see as his whimsical personality or the January 6 assault on the U.S. Capitol by his supporters as their primary faltering focuses. A few told Reuters they are holding back out of concerns about their donations attending to Trump's mushrooming lawful expenses. A gathering pledges bunch run by Trump has went through more than $55 million on legitimate bills since the begin of 2023. So distant, the political commitments paying Trump's legitimate bills have generally come from little benefactors.